Let's talk about the feeling of safety. We often think of it as this abstract thing we're just hoping to find. But what if it's something you could actually build? Today, we're going to look at a blueprint to do exactly that, to build a strong, safe home inside yourself, one piece at a time.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a really powerful idea that's the bedrock for everything we're about to cover. The idea is that a woman's brain literally cannot relax until she feels safe, both physically and emotionally. And look, this isn't just a nice thought. The source material presents this as a biological fact. It's the baseline requirement to truly be open and at ease.
For so many of us, this feeling is a constant background process. Think of it like a piece of software that's always running on your computer. It's scanning every conversation for its tone, reading body language, bracing for what might come next. It's this quiet, draining hum of self-protection that never seems to fully switch off.
So here's our blueprint for today. First, we're going to really understand this constant safety scan. Then we'll introduce this new way of seeing yourself as an architect. After that, we'll lay down the 3 foundational pillars, walk through a step-by-step construction plan, and finally, we'll put it all to the test. All right, first things first, let's really get a handle on the problem we're trying to solve here. What's the real cost of living in this constant, low-level survival mode all the time? The source material is super clear about this. This isn't a choice you're making, it's pure biology. When your system is using up all its energy just to scan for danger and survive, there's literally no bandwidth left for anything else. Growth, real connection, creativity, all of that gets put on the back burner. Now here's where things get really interesting, because we're going to reframe this whole problem. This isn't some personal flaw that you need to fix. The source suggests thinking of it more like a design issue, one that you can solve. And this is the core idea of our whole explainer. You're not just a tenant living inside your own mind, stuck with the way it was built. No, you are the architect. You have the power to grab the blueprints and redesign your inner world from the ground up. And this slide just perfectly shows the difference. It's night and day, right? The old architecture, that's built on fear. It's constantly burning energy just to stay standing. But the new architecture, that's built on a foundation of safety, which allows you to actually generate energy, to create from who you really are, and to stay open to all the good stuff. Okay, so if we're going to build this new structure, we need a rock-solid foundation. And according to the source material, that foundation is built on 3 key pillars that all work together. The first pillar is all about your biology. It uses concepts from neurolinguistic programming to install what the source calls safety anchors. These are basically little shortcuts you create to speak directly to your nervous system. It could be something as simple as placing a hand over your heart or a specific phrase you repeat to yourself. These anchors send a primal message to your body that says you're safe, and that helps shut down that fight or flight alarm. Pillar number 2 is your filter to the world. The source calls this the interface. Now, for a lot of us, this interface is like a big, heavy shield we're holding up, trying to block attacks. The goal here is to redesign it, to transform it from a defensive shield into a clear, receptive lens, one that lets you see reality as it is, without that distortion of fear, allowing for real connection. And the final pillar is the coherent nexus. Think of this as your internal power source, your core reactor. This is the place where your heart, your head, and your gut intuition finally stop arguing and start working together. When they're all aligned, you're not reacting from old wounds or future fears. You're just present. Okay, so we've got the plans, we've got the pillars. How do we actually start the construction? Well, the source gives us a really clear 3-phase plan to follow. And it's a super practical process. Phase 1 is debugging. You have to identify and clear out all that old background noise of constantly scanning for threats. Then, phase 2 is redesign. This is where you create new, consistent habits that prove to your system that safety is the new normal. And only then, once that's solid, do you move to phase 3, activate. This is where you can start to invite in vulnerability and allow for that deep connection that can only happen when you feel truly safe. All right, now for the ultimate test of any structure, right? How does it hold up when things get tough? Let's see how this new internal architecture actually performs under pressure. This is really where the whole blueprint proves its value, because pressure, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. So the question isn't how to avoid it, it's how do you process it without your whole internal structure collapsing? And here is the crucial, game-changing reframe. Pressure isn't some heavy weight trying to crush you personally. It's just energy. It's information flowing through you. A well-designed system isn't built to block energy, it's built to channel it without breaking.
So when that pressure hits, you don't have to panic. You just run your protocol. You notice the signal, that old stress response kicking in. You stop yourself from getting swept away. You use your safety anchor to calm your nervous system. Then you use your new lens to filter the pressure as just data. And finally, you align with your nexus and act from a place of calm, centered presence, not chaos. And that really brings us to the core takeaway of this entire blueprint. Safety isn't just some fleeting emotion you're chasing after. It's the foundation. It's the essential infrastructure that allows everything else, happiness, creativity, connection, to actually be built in the first place. So, as we wrap this up, the question isn't whether you can change your internal architecture, it's where are you going to begin? Are you going to start with your biological foundation, your interface with the world, or your core power source? The blueprints are in your hands now.